Hey, welcome to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast with the two renegade pharmacists, Brian Bisher and Cory Jenks. You are listening to this because you are a person with type 2 diabetes who is committed and driven to breaking free from this diagnosis and creating a real, meaningful change in your health and life. In these episodes, we're here to help you ditch the scripts with doses of unconventional wisdom on topics such as fitness, nutrition, medication, mindset, and more. So without any further delay, let's dive right in.
Hey, Brian, it's good to see you. I was in New Jersey, so I was picking up on the local dialect, man, but it's good to be back in Tucson. I made it out of Newark before the airlines all canceled their flights. So if you are listening to this stranded somewhere, I am sorry, but we're going to make it worth your time because this is a travel habit episode, Brian, the little habits that add up. And I was observing some stuff on my travels home yesterday. But how are you? I was just coming in hot with my thick Jersey fake accent, and
Yeah, you definitely threw me off there. I was not expecting that.
yeah,
Uh, but no, I'm doing great, man. I was unaware that there were more travel delays. It seems like every single weekend I'm like hearing about travel delays.
yeah, it's related to the government shutdown. There's not enough air traffic controllers, so for
Oh,
safety's sake, they have to cancel flights. So you and I don't spend our noses in the news because we're too busy actually helping people instead of getting freaked out by what the news tells us. But this is one of those times where the news was somewhat useful. So you get one right news out of thousands of things that have just made people angry at each other. So touche.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, it's you look like I don't know. I have some news. Can I share some news?
yeah. Let's hear some
Some
news.
personal. This is kind of personal. Last week, I'm recording this on November 7th, was the last shift I've worked in the pharmacy. I quit my job because I am all in on helping people who are listening to this right now. I so distrust. Our system is not great. And I so am into, our mission is to reverse 100,000 cases of type 2 diabetes. And it was not going to happen with me spending some days in the clinic. And I'm not saying I'll never go back to working a pharmacy job, but I'm here. I am all in on this, Brian, and I am so excited to be part of this with you. So,
Yeah,
um,
the feeling is mutual, man. Although I have not quit my job,
mhm.
um,
That wasn't
but
meant to like put you on the spot of like,
I
oh, you're
know.
not doing it. No, it's a long time coming. I'm a little older than Brian, and we got some other life situations that are aligning for me to take this leap. So, um, yeah,
Yes, yes. Well, I'm very happy for you as you know it because you tell me how much it was just draining the life out of you every week, and that's important. I mean, we've talked about this before, like how stressful situations can. I mean, I know you're not dealing with type 2 diabetes, but like in a sense, if someone were and they had a stressful situation that they could somehow alleviate,
mhm.
that does. Remember the guy that said he was one of the best things that happened to his health was getting fired from his job, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, so it's yeah, those outside circumstances can definitely play a major role and impact on your health. So
Yeah. Well, I had some amazing patients. We had some amazing cases of blood sugar improvement. Great people that I work with. I just was, yeah, you're right, Brian. Like a normal clinic job. I only work 2 days a week, and it took me like a day and a half to like recover my drive. But I'm here as you can. I was up for 20 hours yesterday and listened to how full of energy I am. If you're listening to this beyond one speed, I apologize. I sound like a chipmunk. So, as I said, I was
well, I was
sorry.
gonna say you obviously function better than I do on less sleep because remember the day after that one Friday?
Yeah, you spent an extra 2 hours watching football, and poor Brian couldn't say his words.
Yeah.
So, and I was up for 20 hours. I was up at 1 o'clock Tucson time, AM, and at 5:30 p.m. I was finishing up coaching a bunch of kindergartner, first and second graders playing basketball, and then I fell asleep at 9. So I was up for about 20 hours. So,
Hmm.
which is actually you function as if you are legally drunk at that point. So that is
True.
fun fact. But speaking of travel, like we're working on small habits to improve blood sugar. And I was flying, and if you have flown recently, you know that if you were, I was in the coach section of the plane. So for those of you who are full-time first classers, I enjoy that experience when I rarely get to do it. But you get basically a beverage or two and choice of snack. And so I was sitting next to some really lovely people. This is not a judgment of these people, amazing, nice humans. if they ever, if they hear me and connect the dots, this is not a judgment of your character. It's just what we're kind of conditioned to do. But so they come through the beverage service, and this is like 7:30 in the morning, and I get myself a LaCroix sparkling water, and they give me a thing of cookies, which is what you want to eat in the morning. It's cookies, right? And then the one of the people got a regular soda. And so regular soda's got, we'll charitably say 35 grams of sugar. These cookies have about probably 15, 20 grams of sugar. Um, and I take my, and I'll, I sound like a hypocrite. I take the cookies and I put them in my bag and I bring them home and my kids have them as a treat sometimes. Like when daddy's gone traveling, like the airplane cookies are like a big treat in the house, which shows how much sweets they get. So I have my LaCroix and a protein bar, and I have to, full disclosure, I had a Cliff Bar. It was my celebratory Cliff Bar for my flight home. So that did have 16 grams of sugar. So I was having basically a dessert with like there's about 30 grams of protein, a little bit of sugar, and but nothing drank. They come through again, it's a 5 hour flight. Again, I get a LaCroix and they get the soda. And so we're looking at another 35 to 40 grams of sugar. So we'll round up to, we'll say they, between the cookies and the soda, we'll say 80 to 90 grams of sugar. I'm coming in at about 16 grams. And this is all before like 10 a.m. So I want you to think about, and this could be flying, this could be staying in your house, like the difference in caloric and sugar consumption between the two of us. You have 300 calories of soda, probably another 200 calories of cookies, and almost 100 grams of sugar on in one person. Almost no nutrition. And I am, and this is not to brag. I like this is what I do for a living, as you know. We're on this podcast talking about it. I have about 30 grams of protein. I get my little bit of sugar, and but nothing, none of it drank. And there's some fiber in what I'm eating. And so, who's going to be, whether it's a blood sugar, like who's going to have a higher blood sugar spike? Likely consuming a bunch of sugar in liquid form will spike the sugar more so than having some protein to tamp it down. But how's that energy going to go? Like I had a 10-minute run to my next flight and I had sustained full energy. I was coaching basketball later in the day because when you consume a lot of sugar, your body has to spit out a bunch of insulin to lower that sugar spike. Often it will overcorrect and
Go ahead.
you
No,
will
you
lose
go ahead.
energy.
Keep going. I'm I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm throwing Corey off.
you are.
But I just want to pause right here. Just to like play the advocate here, like I don't like sugar alone, right? It's not the villain. We're making sugar out to be the villain in this case, but it's sugar. Sugar alone is not the villain, Corey. So I'm just gonna
I would
say,
argue, I would twist your words and say sugar, comma, alone actually is a villain.
if you're listening to this and thinking this is exactly what I need, but I'll deal with it at my next doctor's appointment, I want to lovingly call out something important. Waiting 6 months for someone to glance at your labs isn't a plan, it's a gamble. Your blood sugar doesn't pause until your next visit, your habits don't magically change on their own, and you don't need another rushed conversation where you walk out with more questions than answers. If you want clarity, real personal clarity on what's driving your numbers and how to turn them around, grab a blood sugar clarity call with us. It's free, it's personalized, and it gives you a plan you can act on right away, long before your next appointment rolls around. Just head to the show notes and tap the link to book your call. Don't wait for someone else to set the pace for your health. Take the next step while you've got the momentum.
If you're getting sugar with no fiber or protein to blunt the spike, then it's going to cause a bigger issue. And I'm talking not just about blood sugar, like your energy. I was getting to the point where like you overcorrect for a sugar spike and you'll get a bunch of insulin that squirts out, lowers your sugar down to like a below optimal level, and you'll get tired and cranky and hypoglycemic. So
Okay, that I agree
that's,
with. And then
I
you
was
want to go
about to
into
get
like
to my
low dose.
point when Brian interrupted me. So thank you for that derailment.
I had to slow you down. You were just kind of like, for anybody listening to this on like 1.5, they're gonna be like, "What the heck is Corey even saying?" So you gotta like slow down a little bit. But no, I just want to point out this post I saw today, ironically, from Dave Asprey. You know, he's a big biohacker these days, and he's making the point to make sure everyone knows that Big Pharma told you that eating sugar causes diabetes. Do you agree with that, Corey? Is that what Big Pharma has told people?
I I'm confused as to what Big Pharma wants us to know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
I, I Big Food has certainly said it's not the problem. I know Big Food has tried to convince us that sugar is not a problem, but Big Pharma, I don't think Big Pharma really cares. Big Pharma just goes where the money is, and if your sugar's high, here's a drug to lower it.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that maybe Big Food will say sugar's not the problem. Big Pharma will say sugar is the problem. So you're like, who do I believe here? Uh, what I'll say is like, and I've thought a lot about this because I've seen diabetes educators, influencers out there on just like, here's a food pairing that can, stabilize your blood sugar. So you see a cool, like a more steady CGM reading here. It's like, but is that the bigger picture? Is that just like, is that going to actually, like, let's say you're seeing more stable blood sugars, but you're not actually reversing insulin toxicity, like, or energy toxicity. Are you actually getting to the root cause just by pairing some food appropriately if you're not ultimately losing weight and reversing insulin resistance? What are your thoughts on that?
I would argue it's where are you in the process? Like if your house is on fire, I want to take the fuel away. Like I want to put a hose on the fire, which to me is whatever we can do to blunt those sugar spikes to like improve that. Yes. And
Uh-huh.
then long term, can we rebuild the foundation and the structure in a way that keeps your sugar from spiking? And I think that long term, the term I use is naked carbs. Like if you are trying to maintain a less weight, like less wild blood sugar and more stable, then pairing certain food pairings can help. But you're right, if you've not fixed the underlying scaffolding of the problem, the insulin resistance, then no, it's less important.
Mhm. Yeah.
This episode was going to be about food choices when traveling, I think.
Well, we got to talk about sugar. We're going to dive a little deeper into the sugar part. And just to make a point that Corey's bringing up this story of like consuming a lot of sugar on a plane ride. And yes, I agree that is not the best situation. I'm always kind of thinking like, where can I pair my sugar? Where can I have my sugar where I know I'm gonna be moving, my muscles will be soaking it up. Like
Mhm.
that's my train of thought because I don't want the after effects of like the grogginess, the brain fog, like not wanting to move. I've done that. Yes, have I been having some Halloween candy because it's in the house? Yeah, I have. And it just kind of zaps your energy a little bit. But when you're thinking like just sugar in and of itself, it's not the villain. It's part of the problem. It's really just the whole energy overload, the energy toxicity, which is too many calories, chronic stress, poor sleep, and inactivity, right? These are the one things that drive insulin resistance together, not just sugar by itself. That's the point I'm trying to make, Cory, is that like I think people understand like sugar, like once you fix things and you kind of get better straight, you're moving more, your sleep's more optimal, you're not stressed, like you can have some candy, you can enjoy some sugar, and you're not going to really have the detrimental effects.
Mhm. I yes, and the issue that I take is that we've normalized consuming 100 grams of sugar before it's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
On a plane where you're not moving at all.
Yeah.
And so, like little changes that you can make where you're traveling are gonna there's so many layers to this. There's the societal acceptance of this is what you can have. There's the idea that airlines don't give you anything like they won't hand out peanuts anymore, which are at least some protein and fat to keep you fuller because of all the peanut allergies. So now they got to give you something that will be shelf stable for a year and a half. So it's all cookies and pretzels. So that's all you're getting from the plane from a complimentary snack. You're paying $500 for a ticket. It doesn't matter. You get that, and so and if you travel a lot, or if that's your normal morning routine, is having a sugary drink paired with a carby sugary treat, which I saw all the time from patients and clients. It's orange juice along with a sweet roll or a coffee with a bunch of sugar dumped in it, and there's no real nutrition in it. These little choices are going to compound in a negative way for you. It's like credit card interest. It's going to put you in health debt. But if you are able to make like I admitted like my food choices on the flight were not perfect, but they were better than the average, and I can compound that with better, stronger choices throughout later in the day with more. And I had walked 10,000 steps before I got on that plane. I got to the airport super early, so I already walked for like an hour and a half. I had got my 10,000 steps in before I even walked on that plane. And I guarantee you, looking at the people in the airport, there were very few bodies moving before
Yeah.
they were getting on a plane, unless it was moving to the Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. So not again, not a judgment. It's just what is normal. So if you're looking to improve our overall health, it's these little habits. If you travel a lot, you have to prepare. You have to bring your own food, uh, and avoid like I'm sorry, like I know you're not trying to make sugar out to be a villain, but like there's unless your blood sugar is crashing, I do not see a reason to consume a large volume of sugary sweetened beverages.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
I'll agree with that. I'll say that the plane is not the time nor place that I really care to enjoy my treats. Like it's just
yes.
it's not necessary. Uh, especially when I'm traveling with kids, like I need to be on my, I know you were traveling by yourself this time, but like I need to be energetic, I need to be focused, not like, going through the ups and downs of the roller coaster of blood sugar because we experience it too. Like, yeah, blood sugar spikes, come down. I get cranky and I lose my energy kind of goes away and I'm like, yeah, this is not good. So I am very intentional about when, and I think that's really what it comes down to is like being intentional about when you're going to have any kind of treats and just making sure that you know,
Yeah.
the cake is
Well,
worth the occasion. Go ahead.
well, and here's the thing, like, so you say treats. Like to me, if I'm gonna have 100 grams of sugar, it better be a really good big piece
Yeah.
of cake or pie. And we're consuming a treat's worth of sugar before we get out of a plane in 4 hours, and
Yeah.
it's not even good. Like it's those little biscuit cookies from the airplane. They're not good cookies. There's no chocolate chips. There's no caramel. They're hard. They're sugar. Like if there wasn't for the sugar, they'd basically be a stale cracker. And so we're mindlessly consuming this all this like energy, like these empty calories and like sugary calories. And like a Coca-Cola is like a soda used to be a treat to me. Now I find it like literally makes my teeth itch. But you're having two sodas worth of this stuff. Like have something good. That's all I'm asking for you to do. If you're gonna pound your body with sugar, make it like good. That's all I ask. And most of
Yeah.
this processed crap is not even good. And we're killing ourselves with stuff that isn't even good.
Because it's
So
there. It's there.
it's there. Well, so that's why you have to replace what's there with what's in your bag. So the small thing is like when you're traveling, whether it is on a plane to the park, out in the world, like have some things with you that will help displace the foods that are not going to get you to your goals. And for me, when I travel, it's jerky. I bring fruit, not dried fruit, regular whole like apples. Dried fruit is just, again, it's basically sugar devoid of water and fiber and will not fill you up. And you can eat a lot of dried fruit. It's very easy to overeat. So, and then I'll even bring some hard-boiled eggs if it's going to be a quick meal for me. So, and then just avoid the sugar sweetened beverages. And that means your juice. Sorry, folks. Juice is sugary uh, for what you're getting.
The
So,
juice ain't worth the squeeze. Yeah.
oh, Brian, I thought I
Uh,
was a comedian.
no, I just got that last little junk joke there.
Yeah.
So any other takeaways, Corey, like that our listeners should?
You have to be intentional, and if you're not careful, these small choices throughout the day are going to derail all the progress you have in reversing your type 2 or keeping you from getting type 2 or for honestly living an energetic full vibrant life. As Brian was saying, when he and I experience a spike of sugar, the crash after that makes us moody, irritable, and we can't show up like we want to for the people we care about.
Yeah.
So you're gonna look weird bringing your own food into the airport. Like the default is to eat what the airlines give you, to eat what's in the restaurants there, or to eat the overpriced snacks at the stores at the airport. And sometimes I get it. Like if you run through everything, fine. But yeah, for me, like it's jerky, protein bars, hard-boiled eggs, nuts sometimes, but nuts I can overeat, so I just know myself. And be
Yeah.
prepared. And go in with a plan. And that will help you from consuming 100 grams of sugar before it's brunch.
And I'll even say this, like, just people need to escape the mindset that their body needs that. That does not need that. Like, you do
No.
not, what your body needs is nutrition. So
Yeah.
if you're at the, you have the choice between a airport or plane cracker, plane cookie, and
Hmm.
nothing, choose nothing because your body will say, yeah, that's better. And actually, the nothing will probably keep you feeling better and not hungry. Like the cracker, the cookie, the pretzels, they're going to make you hungrier and they're going to cause more of a problem. So
Yeah.
they're going to cost you money because then you're gonna be like, well, now I gotta go find something and buy something else. Like versus if you just have choose nothing, you're gonna feel better. So, and I'm just
Yep.
running a little the next for an episode in the future is like we gotta talk about the dinner parties and like the carbs and the fat combo and just like how that number of how huge amounts of calories can just sneak up on just like undo a bunch of progress from just that alone. So we'll talk about it in the
Ooh,
future though.
smells like a holiday episode. Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Lots of
All
carbs
right.
and fats coming up.
Yum, yum, yum. And we're not saying don't eat them. We're saying be intentional. So
Yep.
when it comes to airline travel, plan for delays and plan your food because both of those things are pretty much inevitable these days. So you'll feel better for it.
I see a little fun thing here at the end of this. Because your seatmate, I never heard of it called that before. A seatmate might not notice, but your pancreas will thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. All right, Brian,
All right.
I've talked enough. Take us out of here.
That's it, Corey. I got nothing. Oh,
All
actually,
right.
if you found this episode helpful, uh, just share it with someone. Like if you know someone else who's like the same mindset of you, they don't want to be a patient anymore. They're tired of the appointments. They're tired of the pharmacy refills, waiting in line, and just getting all those reminders. Like share them this episode. Share with them this episode, and just be on this roadmap to remission together.
Yeah. And if you love our episode, we I don't like to sound desperate, but we love a review. Give us a review, and it helps other people find us because
Yeah.
there's 261 people a day die of type 2 diabetes related complications, and that's like a travesty. So if we in pharmacy, I know we were going to end it, but I'm gonna in pharmacy school they talked about medication errors and the number of people harmed every day, and it was some like if it was the equivalent of like a 747 falling out of the sky every day, possibly more. So when this was a travel theme, not to freak people out, but like if 260 people, like that's a plane of people that our lives are ending prematurely because of type 2 diabetes related complications. So share this with someone who you care about, and let's get them on the roadmap to remission and turn that number around because that number keeps me up at night and wakes me up in the morning and makes me crazy. So
Yeah.
I know Brian and I have our little fun banter back and forth. It's a serious topic, but and we try to have as much fun as we can. But there's real people like you suffering, and we're tired of it. So
Yeah. For sure.
on
Thanks,
that
Corey.
happy note, Brian,
That's
till the
it.
next episode.
See
All
ya.
right, thanks for listening.
If this episode gave you clarity or hope, share it with one friend who's been stuck in the diabetes trap. That's how this mission grows. One person, one family, one story at a time. And if you haven't yet, leaving a quick review helps more people find the show and realize they're not stuck with meds forever. It takes less than a minute and it means the world to us. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being part of this movement toward freedom. Thanks for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. The ideas discussed here are for general informational purposes only and do not constitute medical or nutritional advice. We are pharmacists, but we're not your personal healthcare providers. Always consult your own physician or qualified clinician before changing medications, exercise routines, or nutrition plans. Results vary, and what works for one person may not work for another.